in this season and this time, God is unleashing men, arsenals he can use. God war with men. If God will ever fight, he's going to fight with men. Men are his battle axes, weapons of war. God fabricated his mysteries in men, embedded it, and he used it as a tool against the system of darkness. And at every point in time, if you find yourself worthy enough that God download himself inside of you, is because you are a strategic weapon for a season. And everybody must have that understanding so that they don't waste their existence upon the face of the earth. And quite unfortunate, your existence is measured to the degree to which you can represent God. Everyone that has not ability to represent God cannot be factor in the history of God. And history, as we know it, is actually the story of God. History cannot be completed without talking about Christ, talking about God in himself. And so men upon which we remember in history and we are glad are those that represent God. So you cannot be a big boy if you don't add God to it. You can't be a big girl if you don't add the pursuit of God to it. And that is why I said, this year is your year of light and you must shine. Prophesy and say, I am the light of this world. You are not a big boy, you are not a big girl, you are the light of the world. There is so much darkness. We ought to be the light. Today we are going to be adding up to the measure we have done last week, preparing for the miracle and communion service. Next, if you are excited, next week is miracle and communion service. Give the Lord a shout. It's going to be the first communion service for the year. Please come prepared with your request, expecting God to do a wonder. Tonight, briefly, I'm going to be sharing with us on the reality of light and darkness. The reality of light and darkness. Like I said, we are still on the theme exposition. This month is just to expose us to the theme, I am the light of the world. The reality of light and darkness. The reality of light and darkness. Our part of our anchor scripture, we had John chapter 9 verse 5. The Bible speaking says, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. It doesn't matter the territory, the region where you find yourself, as long as you are there. The Bible says you are the light, you are the hope, you are the photizo, you are the hope, the life of that region. I told you the power of light is his ability to give life. The power of light is his ability to give life. Its ability to create an environment conducive for productivity. Without light, there cannot be productivity, there cannot be development, there cannot be advancement. Innovation is upon the strength of the availability of light. And I showed you last week how even plants depend upon light for photosynthesis to synthesize their survival and synthesize what we can eat. Without light, there cannot be the survival of plants. And without plants surviving, you and I are going to have an issue. Because even the animals that you feed upon depend upon plants, or one thing or the other that depend upon light. Is that okay? So light is a mystery for production, a mystery for the continuity of existence. And it's the beautiful thing about light is that it's needed both in heaven and upon the face of the earth. And the origin of light is not the earth. The origin of light is heaven itself. Do you understand? Go with me to the book of Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1. The Bible speaking, it said from verse 1, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. Before light came, there was darkness. You must have respect for darkness. One of the things I want you to understand is that when a man does not walk in light, he is perpetually at a default state of darkness. If you are not in light, you are actually exactly where the devil wants you to be. Because the devil operates in darkness, God operates in light. And God cannot function out of darkness. In peradventure, in mid darkness, he called out light out of the darkness. Is that okay? We introduce light into darkness. God called out light out of darkness. So darkness can be existing, and God can call out light out of that darkness. But mind you, when you look at this scripture, one of the things is that when God, the Bible says, darkness on the face, and the spirit of the person, and suddenly, I hope we are safe. And suddenly, the Bible said, "Let there be light." So God himself realized that creation is almost impossible except with the agency of light. That means God wished to create, God wished to innovate, God wished to develop the earth. But the development of the earth is dependent upon a factor. And the first factor that must be in existence is light. And you see, the reason why light must be in existence because everything is going to depend upon the light. And you see, we may feel that, well, why the light? You have to be able to advance to be able to see why the light. When you go to verse 4, the Bible says, and God saw that the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning was the first day. That means God actually wanted darkness to also be in existence. Mind you, light did not take away darkness. One of the greatest mistakes we made as believers is thinking suddenly because I'm walking in light now, there won't be darkness. The devil will be so close to you as a believer, it doesn't matter how it is. Anytime God tried to build his temple, the devil will build his chapel. When God is building a temple, the devil will build his chapel close. But eventually one day you are tired of worshiping the temple, you can enter his own chapel. Light and darkness always go together. Always. Always. When you off this light now, darkness will come. It doesn't mean that just because there is light, darkness totally disappear. No. You have to choose which one to allow dominance within your ecosystem. There are two kingdoms that work. The kingdom of light. For this will help me. We are talking about light, and the department of light cannot help us. There are two kingdoms that exist, the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness. Basic. And whether you like it or not, all of them are seeking supremacy of dominance. What will make darkness have a footing is dominance. What will make light have a footing is dominant. It is your responsibility to choose which one influences you. But you must be able to understand that God cannot function with you when you walk in darkness. God will have to call out light out of your darkness. And when God called out light out of your darkness, he embodied you to become light. Then he sends you back into the darkness. Why? Because the day you begin to walk in light, at that day you now become an extension of who God is. Why? Because God is light. John chapter 1. The reality of light and darkness. In the book of John chapter 1, the Bible speaking said, in the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So from this we now realize that there was a beginning in Genesis. There was another beginning in John. But in the other beginning in Genesis, we saw darkness, we saw form, we saw void, right? We saw without form, we saw void. But right now, John is speaking about another beginning, and we saw an order. In this beginning that John is talking about, we saw an order. And the order there is that there was a word, a truth that was established in the beginning. That from the very beginning of creation, God did not just started creating out of vacuum. Is that okay? God began creating from a truth, from a standpoint of a truth. And it's very important for us to understand that creation was not done in a vacuum. It was done upon the strength of a truth. And because of that truth, God called out light so that that truth can find expression. Mind you, if you study, you are going to realize that the same light that was spoken about in Genesis chapter 1 is actually the same light that was spoken about in John chapter 1. Because it was introduced, it wasn't really created, it was spoken to be. It was not a function of the earth system. I get my point. God created the heavens and the earth. He didn't create the light. The light was made to be in existence. So God released himself into existence as truth to regulate creation. Because creation was formed and void. Why? It was formed and void simply because there was no truth introduced to creation. So God had to begin to install truth into creation by introducing light. And if you realize, darkness was actually an overflow of part of the creation. In fact, what you call without form and void, tohu bohu, was actually the visibility of darkness in the midst of creation. The reason why creation was without form and void, without shape, was because there was no light introduced. But immediately when light came, form and void disappeared. And now there is a nature. There are things being revealed out of creation. Are you getting my point now? What it meant is that what God created was good, but it was hidden because darkness covered it. When light came, light revealed. Mind you, light is a revealer. When light comes and make contact with anything, it reveals the true intent of the thing and bring glory to the thing. Your life may be in darkness. You may be existing right now. You don't have an idea of your purpose. You don't know what you are meant to do on earth. You don't even understand who you are. Don't worry. Darkness covered you. You are created by God, but darkness covered you. What you need is let there be light. So that when that light comes now, God begins to reveal the deposit he has put inside of you.